Welcome back to Fortune Flow. I'm Sage, and tonight the numbers have something to say. Think about the most adventurous person you know, the one who's always going somewhere, always trying something new, always chasing the next experience, the next thrill, the next horizon. They make life look exciting, effortless, free. Now ask yourself this: have you ever seen them stay, not visit, not pass through, stay? Have you ever seen them commit to something long enough to see it through? To build something that lasts? To let someone truly know them? If the answer is no, they're probably a Life Path 5. And this video is going to explain why the person who seems the most free is actually running from something they can never escape. Because Life Path 5 is the number of freedom, of change, of adventure. And the 5's greatest fear is this: if they stop moving, they'll discover that freedom isn't what they're looking for. What they're really looking for is themselves. In numerology, the number 5 represents freedom, change, experience, and adventure. Where the 1 initiates, the 2 connects, the 3 creates, and the 4 builds, the 5 explores. They don't want structure, they want possibility. They don't want roots, they want wings. 5s are the travelers, the seekers, the ones who need constant stimulation to feel alive. They thrive on variety, on newness, on the unknown. And when a Life Path 5 is in their power, they are magnetic, exciting, inspiring. They remind everyone that life is meant to be lived fully, boldly, without apology. But here's what most people don't understand about the 5. They're not free. They're running. Because the 5 doesn't seek adventure because they love movement. They seek it because they're terrified of stillness. They don't avoid commitment because they value independence. They avoid it because intimacy, real intimacy, requires them to be seen. And being seen requires them to stop performing, to stop moving, to stop running. And the 5 would rather run forever than face what they're running from. That is the shadow of the 5, and it's exhausting. The Life Path. 5's soul came into this world to experience not just travel, not just adventure, but life in its fullest, most varied, most expansive form. The 5 is here to taste everything, try everything, feel everything. 5s are naturally curious. They don't accept what they're told. They have to see for themselves. They don't follow the path. They make their own. They don't fear the unknown. They're drawn to it. They are adaptable in a way most people will never be. Drop a 5 in any situation and they'll figure it out. New city, new language, new challenge. They thrive on it. 5 seconds are also deeply alive. When they're engaged, they radiate energy. They make people feel like anything is possible. They remind us that the world is big and we're allowed to explore it. And when a Life Path 5 is in their power, they are the ones who push boundaries, who refuse limitations, who show us what freedom actually looks like. But here's what breaks my heart about Life Path 5s. They believe that stopping means dying. Let me say that differently. The Life Path 5 equates movement with aliveness, newness with growth, change with freedom. And so they never stop, they never settle, they never commit. Not because they don't want to, but because the moment they do, they panic, They feel trapped, suffocated, like they're losing themselves. This is the 5's deepest wound, the belief that commitment equals death, that roots equal prison, that to stay is to stop growing. So they sabotage. They leave jobs right before promotion. They end relationships right when they get real. They move cities right when they start to feel at home. Because here's the thing, the 5 isn't afraid of being trapped by someone else. They're afraid of being trapped by themselves, by their own limitations, by the parts of themselves they haven't figured out yet. And as long as they keep moving, they never have to face those parts. That is the shadow of the 5. Constant motion as avoidance, freedom as escape. If you're a life path 5, tell me if this sounds familiar. You get bored easily, not just with routines, with everything. Jobs, hobbies, relationships, cities. What excited you 3 months ago now feels suffocating. You're always planning the next thing, the next trip, the next project, the next chapter. You can't enjoy where you are because you're already thinking about where you're going. Commitment terrifies you, not just romantic commitment, all commitment. Long-term plans feel like cages. Mortgages feel like death sentences. Even choosing a restaurant feels too permanent. You struggle with follow-through. You start things with intense enthusiasm and abandon them the moment they require sustained effort. Your life is filled with half-finished projects and almost relationships. And here's the hardest part. You're lonely, surrounded by people who find you fascinating, exciting, magnetic, and you're profoundly lonely because no one really knows you. And you've made sure of that, because to be known requires staying, and you don't know how to stay. That is the pattern of the 5. Magnetic, restless, alone. So here's what I need you to hear. Life Path 5. Freedom and commitment are not opposites. You can stay and still grow. You can commit and still be free. You can have roots and still have wings. The world needs your adventurous spirit. It needs your refusal to accept limits. It needs your reminder that life is meant to be explored. But the world also needs you to stop running, because what you're looking for isn't out there. It's not in the next city, the next experience, the next thrill. What you're looking for is in the stillness you're avoiding. Here's the shift. True freedom isn't the ability to leave whenever you want. True freedom is the ability to stay when it matters. The most powerful thing a Life Path 5 can do is choose something, a person, a place, a purpose, and commit to it. Not because you have to, but because you want to. Because that's when movement becomes meaningful. That's when change becomes growth. That's when freedom becomes real. You are not your restlessness. You are not your need to escape. You are so much more than the person who's always leaving. And the people who love you, they don't need you to stay forever. They just need you to stay long enough to be seen. Now, if you're thinking, this just sounds like commitment issues, this isn't numerology, it's avoidant attachment. You're not entirely wrong. The psychological profile of the Life Path 5 does overlap significantly with what attachment theorists call dismissive avoidant or fear of engulfment. But here's what makes the 5 unique. They're not avoiding commitment because they fear intimacy in the traditional sense. They're avoiding it because they fear stagnation. They fear losing themselves. They fear that staying means stopping. Most people with commitment issues are running from others. The 5 is running from themselves. That's not dysfunction. That's the 5's sacred purpose, growth through experience, distorted by the belief that growth requires constant motion. The challenge for the 5 is learning that depth is just as valuable as breadth, that staying can be an adventure. That commitment doesn't kill freedom, it focuses it. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Life Path 5. What would you choose if you weren't afraid of choosing wrong? Not what would you do if you had unlimited options. What would you choose if you had to choose? What city would you call home? What person would you let in? What work would you commit to? Because you are a Life Path 5. You were born to explore, to experience, to push boundaries, but you were not born to run forever. You were not born to be perpetually in motion with nowhere to land. The world needs your freedom, but it also needs you to use that freedom to build something, to choose something, to stay for something, not because you're trapped, but because you chose it. That's real freedom, not the absence of commitment, but the power to commit freely. If you're a Life Path 5, drop a 5 in the comments. And tell me, what would you choose if you weren't afraid of choosing wrong? I read every comment, and I genuinely want to know. If this video resonated with you, share it with the adventurer in your life who can never stay, the one who's always leaving. They need to hear this. Next week, we're diving into Life Path 6, the healer who never heals themselves. If you're a 6 or you love 1, it's going to hit hard. I am Sage. Stay blessed, stay aligned, peace and light.